Oh, goody.
Alright, what's going on everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Mercenaries video. So in this one, I wanted to talk about probably the most discussed topic since the drop came out, in terms of something that's been kind of confusing for a lot of members of the community, and it's something that I talked about a little bit in one of my videos the other day, but is this reward here for completing the Cthulhu bounty that rewards a random legendary mercenary. And there are actually two of this reward along the new PvE story tasks, so you get this twice. But the kind of confusing thing is, typically in the past, when we've seen a random legendary mercenary, whether that be in a bundle or wherever else, how it worked is if you did not have all legendary mercenaries, you would get a random legendary from the ones you currently did not have. And if you did have them all, you would instead get a random skin for one of those characters. Now, this seems to be working kind of differently, and we weren't really sure if it's a bug or whatnot, but after about a day or so of people kind of reporting their results with it and not seeing anything about it in the known issues thread from Blizzard, I think I've figured out what is going on with this, so I wanted to share because it is probably the most thing I've been asked about since the release. I wanted to have just kind of a resource to point people towards to explain what's going on here. So, this is a new thing. I don't think we've ever had a random legendary mercenary be a part of just the rewards for doing the PvE stuff. So in that respect, this is good. I'm actually really happy they're doing something like this. However, it's leading to some feel-bad experiences that I think would be rather easy to remedy, especially given the way to fix it is already kind of in the game already. So what's going on here? Well, there are people who have a lot of the mercenaries already, maybe all the old legendaries, but there are 4 new legendaries, and unfortunately not everyone was able to open them in packs because of the really awful pack variants that we get sometimes in regards to legendaries. And so people were excited because they saw this and said, well, hey, I'm only missing 1 or 2 legendaries, so this will give me one of what I need. However, when they went to open it and get the reward, they got a skin instead for a character they already had. Now, a lot of us were kind of assuming this might be a bug, but after seeing some reports of users not getting a skin and just getting one of the missing mercenaries, I think I've figured out what's going on here. And basically, this reward works differently than pretty much any other time we've seen a random legendary merc be available. And how that works is it just gives you a totally random character out of all legendaries, and the only ones it's excluding in this are legendaries that you already own and have all the skins for. Those are the only ones that will not be given as this, because I haven't seen anyone get 100 legendary coins out of this. So those seem to be the only ones that are excluded. But instead of working how we've seen in the past, where if you're missing a legendary, it gives you one of the ones you're missing, instead, this literally just randomizes a legendary out of all the legendaries and mercenaries, and there are quite a lot of them at this point, and then it checks if you have the base or not. If you don't have the base, it seems to give you the base. If you do have the base, it seems to give you a skin for that character. And this leads to some feel-bad moments, because a lot of people have been reporting that, well, they got a skin for a character they don't play, or they got a skin for a character they already have a diamond or a skin they like better for. And it really kind of makes what should be a really good feeling reward, a nice new thing that we haven't got before, kind of feel bad, because it could have been anything they wanted, and instead it's something that they're probably not that interested in, or aren't going to use, or would have rather had a regular legendary to help complete their collection. And this is just like a really weird implementation, and it's something I would really like them to change, because I mean, it's no secret, I much prefer the skins, so I don't have a problem with this, but I totally understand why people are upset about it. And if I was lacking in more of the resources, or building my collection a little bit slower, or just got unlucky with packs even, and was hoping to use this for a guaranteed legendary, I would definitely be pretty upset about it, especially when you get sometimes like a skin for a character that you already have the diamond for from the event, like one of the old gods or Leroy or something. So that can just be a really feel bad experience, and I think it's worth changing for that alone, because it doesn't make it clear that this is not a bug potentially. And given how we've been kind of conditioned to understand how getting a random legendary merc works, the fact that this works differently than that and the game doesn't really explain that to you in any way is just asking for people to be upset about it, because it gives people one exception that there's kind of precedent for, and then it kind of surprises them with another one. So not really a fan of this implementation. I hope it's something they take some feedback on and change, because it's great that they added a reward like this, and I know I'm really happy that there's now a way for people who don't spend anything on the game to potentially get some legendary skins a little bit easier. That's awesome. But a lot of people don't care about the skins and just want to build their collection, and I think those people should be allowed to do that because the odds of you getting one of the new characters is so low overall, given how many legendaries there are in Mercenaries. It's just a very small percentage chance that you'll actually roll on one of the new characters. So just wanted to get some clarification out about that. Now, there are a few other things I want to cover, just the biggest asked questions that I've gotten since the release. And the first one of those is, what happened to max stats? So we might notice here we can actually see the coin values for the characters I normally have maxed out, and they are missing their +1 attack, +5 attack bonus. Now, this has been identified as a bug, so it seems to be affecting all players, I'm pretty sure, and kind of unfortunate. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, because if nobody has max bonus, we're kind of all at the same level, so there's not really an inherent advantage to it necessarily, but it sucks for the people who put in a lot of time to max out their characters, and especially for like PvE, sometimes those extra stats make a difference, and some mercs are more impacted by these stats missing than others. A great example of that is Leroy Jenkins, who he has one of the lowest amount of health in the game. So losing that extra 5 HP really hurts him a lot more than, let's say, a bigger character like Deathwing. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I've seen some people report that if they max out a character after this patch, some people are still getting the +1, +5 bonus and getting them to max. That is really problematic for things like PvP, because that means some people might just get a stat advantage, while others who already have the characters maxed aren't able to get that until this gets fixed. So this is a pretty problematic bug, and I'm really hoping it's something that doesn't take a whole ton of time to fix, because it does have a very big impact on the game. Now, there's one last bug I've seen a lot of questions about that I did want to cover here, and that is in relation to Khadgar. So Khadgar, people have been noticing some of his tasks, I think most notably task 9 or task 10, has been having an issue where people have not been able to complete it. And we found a little bit of a workaround. It seems that when you have to do one of his abilities a certain number of times, or damage, I think it might actually be damage, you don't want these to be upgraded. Now, what I mean by that is you can level them up with coins, that's fine, but notice how it says upgrade Arcane Surge, they all kind of upgrade each other. It seems when you upgrade the ability, it's not counting towards the task progression. And so another thing here, like we have the start of the game upgrade, you do not want this item on. You don't want the start of the game upgrades on Khadgar while you're doing his tasks. Otherwise, it seems they will not complete for some of them. But yeah, overall, those are the big things I wanted to cover. Those are the real major bugs and questions I've gotten the most of. So I wanted to put them all together in just this one short little video to hopefully help people out and give them some information about this. Unfortunately, due to the weather impacting the southeast US right now, I'm having some internet issues, so having to do a lot of my grinding on phone and whatnot while we wait for those to be resolved, but hopefully they can be fixed later today, and then I can get back to the consistent uploads and streaming. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about this stuff, let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.